Hi folks, this is Rose from In Rose's Garden, and today we are going to work on a necklace using our new Exotic Blooms bead mix from SoftFlex company. And one of the first things we're going to do is take this pretty pendant and we're going to bail it. But let's turn down and I'll show you this big pile of beads I have and what I want to do with it. So here's our big pretty pendant. It's a mother of pearl with another picture appliqued to it. So I've got this bell out of my stash, so we will hook this on here. And I'll decide if I want to play with anything more in the front of it later. Right now, I'm not sure what I want to do there, so we just want to bail this on right now. I mean, put this onto the pendant for right now. So I'm just going to get one of these out. And we're going to open it up and put the pendant together. Now the thing is that I haven't really designed anything. We're just going to be playing it by ear. So we put the pendant on the bail, and I may decide to add something more like a little dangle or something on the front of our pendant here later. I'm just not going to do it right this second. So I want this to be more or less 2 strands, and this guy is going to be our connector, this red one, because there's holes in the middle. And what I want to do, get you out of here, is I'm going to take, I want the shells mainly to be on the second level. So we want to take, and I think we'll put these big orange first. Now if I decide I need something under here, I do have some clear Mayukis here, and I'll probably put those underneath my bell to keep it from banging around too much. Then we want to have some kind of a spacer. You could use one of these crystal spacers. Then this red. I'll go with the same on this side, of course. Then I'm going to put this spacer in here, this big lotus leaf spacer. And the pink. You know, no, we're going to put the yellow one in. I think that coloration will work better. Then we'll put one of these again, and the pink. So yellow and the pink. Now we need a spacer here, and I do have, where did I put them? I just had them a second ago. There they are. Some smaller crystal spacers, which I'm thinking will work good because, well, I don't need 4 of them. I don't think, anyway. I might. Let's leave the other 2 out, just in case. I want them at the beginning of this pink because it's got a taper, of course. Then we'll go to the orange miracle bead. And here's where we decide if we go on with these other 2 red and the other 2. Well, here's the yellow too. So we have all these colors here. And we do have our little green beads if we want to add something a little small here. But maybe we will put this on the other side of our orange. And then the yellow again. Now I have quite a few crystal spacers in here, and I really don't want to put any more in. but at the same time, it really brings this together because they're all crystal spacers. So in all actuality, I may want to pull some of the crystal spacers out of some spots so that we can put in something else. And I'm thinking a couple of daisy spacers. Maybe we'll do a trio or a quad with 2 littles and 2 bigs. 2 littles and 2 bigs. I've always liked a multiple spacers, and it works really good that way. I think we'll do that again here. And here. Oops, missed the other one. Now we're going to put, I think we'll put the pink one here, like we had it down here. And or no, maybe not the pink one. Maybe this red one. And then we'll put the spacer, the crystal spacer with the pink. And then we're going to attach it to this to make it to be a connection or a connector. And then when I go to do the second row, what I'm going to do is, I didn't put any green in, did I? Well, we can live without it. We don't need them. I'm going to use the shell as a secondary row above it, shorter of course, and I'm going to do like, I'm going to do a few of the 2 or 3 of the well, I want all different colors though when I do them. Let's knock these off of here. What I'm going to do is 2 or 3 regulars with 1 daisy spacer between them. And then I'll put every once in a while one of these smaller ones, these little round beads in between. So let's get the first strand done and then we'll worry about the second strand. I'm going to try and do both of them to the flower, one lower, one a little higher. And then we'll go up the other side and when we go up the other side, we're going to just put some chain on to finish it up. So let's get started. Since I've more or less decided this is what we're going to do, I am going to attach directly to this, and then we're going to bead it up. So the first thing, of course, we want to do is get some wire out. And we can see that we want that to be about, I'm going to just cut a length out. It's probably at least 1 foot. But I think that should be enough. So then, where'd I do with my, there they are, crimp tubes. I'm going to get a couple of these out. We'll need at least 4, if not 6 of these. So we're going to go through crimp tube, and then we're going to go through our flower, bring her down. Now, if you felt that this was too plain, you could also put some beads on this loop here, like some seed beads or something like that to put some coloration there. Get my crimpers. Now I use the magical crimper. They have a divot in the middle. You want to go get right in there as much as in the center. Then we'll turn, and we'll just keep turning till it stops crimping down. And there it is, about there. So we'll try that out. Now I'm going to cut just a touch of this beading wire off, even though I'm fairly positive that my pink bead will probably go over both strands. Yep, it does quite. Nope, it wasn't in there. Now it's in there. So we're just going to string up exactly what I have set out here. I've been finding it sort of hard to get back in the groove after vacation. I keep wanting to just say, nah, I don't want to work. But, you know, that doesn't work either. So now I've got a small, two larges and then a small in here. If I didn't think I liked that, I could take out something. I'm thinking of taking out one of these big ones. So we'll drop it aside and see what it looks like with just the the small, big, small. I think I like that better. So we will do that. Now, because this flower is only flat on one side, you got to make sure that when you crimp it onto here, and you get going with it, you've got to make sure that it stays the right direction. Now we did decide only to go with one large, so we'll take one of these out of here. Now this is considered, this is the lotus petal spacer, so we'll go right through here. Now is that going to be too close? No, I think that's perfect. So, oops, there it is. I was going to say, where did I flick that? But there it be. I probably should have got some green to put on here because this is got green all over down here, but you know, we still could. I could get some of these little greens and just, let's see, where's my, oh, they're right here beside me, duh, Rose. And we'll put a green on either side, I think. But it needs something to put it there, so I'm going to use one of these large spacers that I moved away from the other, and I'm just going to put one on this time. No, I don't like just one. So we'll get the smalls as well, like we did before. We want the we want it to keep the same way. I do like these little green rondelles. So now I'm going to get some Mayukis up to go underneath our bell. Oops, you guys go over here. I only need a few. I probably have more than I need right there, because dimes to dollars I need like 3, maybe 4. 2 and 3. Come on, 3. Now let's see how it is compared to my bail. I think we can use one more. So we'll put 4 on. Now we'll go over the bail through here. see if I can see where that last seed bead is. It's really close, so that's good. We'll put this green one on then, and our bead pattern. I mean, I spacer pattern, it's not beads. But we're going to go up the other side just like we did this side though, so that we have this same pattern going. So we got our first strand all finished. Isn't that pretty? So now when we do our second strand, we've got to remember that this is not what is going to be used as our length. The piece that's going to be the length is this second one, which is going to have all the shell in it. So, and it's going to hook to our flower here too, with another strand coming up and around through here. And then we'll hook, we're going to have to do something so we can hook some chain onto the other end of our flower here. We'll probably make a small SoftFlex loop. But in the meantime, we're going to have to start deciding how we're going to do our shell here. And as I say, it's our middle section. It's going to take in here. I'm going to want it to be about an inch shorter than this piece. So let's set this piece aside for now. And we will start getting some of our shell out and a length of wire again. Now again, I'm just going to get a length that's probably about a foot maybe. Let's measure it. The other one was probably the same. Oh, come on, go up there. Yeah, it's almost a foot, not quite, but that should be good enough, because I'm pretty sure the other one is not a foot. So actually, let's take it out and let's bring it down and measure it and see how long it is. Yeah, see, it is. How did you flip? You're flipped. Uh-oh. Or maybe I just have these flipped. Okay. It is 10 inches. So 11 inches or even a little longer, 10. We don't even want it to be 10 inches. We probably want it to be about 9. So I think this is really pretty, but I keep thinking I want something in the front here, and I don't know what. I'll have to keep thinking on it. We may decide to add something to the front. So here is some of the beads I have out. Here's some more of the round ones here. And we will probably have to get some more of the flat shell out. And we're just going to make, I don't have any plans for a center of this one. We could add something to be the center if we wish to. Like I say, I'll probably need some more of the flat shell out. Oh, I could put one of these porcelains in the middle to, or even 2 of them. Get those little guys in, I don't want them. As with another bead, couple of beads in the middle of it to add a little something. That would work very nicely, I think. I don't think I want any of the seed beads, but I do want the shell hishis, which are in here still, most of them. But we'll see how we do. What I want to do, I'm thinking, actually those are sort of a large hole. I wonder if my tube will go through that. If not, we'll just put some seed beads in it. Yeah, it is big enough for my tubing to go through, so we will cut a couple pieces of tubing for these. and then put this away. I think we're going to start working from the middle of this one, just because we're going to do these guys. And I think this is one of the few places I'm going to put in some crystal spacers on this one. And I'm trying to decide if I want them on both sides or just one. I think we'll put them on both. So I'll get 4 out. And I'm thinking I'll put a couple of the let go of each other, you guys. I think I'm going to put a couple of the hishis in here too. So what I'm going to do, well, nope, I'm just going to grab one of these little round guys. Oops, no flying away there, dude. Put you on the wire. Then this, let's see how it goes down in there. That's fine. Put on the tube for our first one here. Come on, there we go. Then one of the crystal spacers. Just grab whatever one of the little round ones. I'm grabbing the round ones because they'll go into sink into the crystal spacer a little bit, whereas the hishi would not. But now I'm going to put small spacer, large spacer, hishi. Oop, oop, come here. Large spacer, hishi. You're not a hishi. There we go. Large spacer, small spacer. Little round one. Crystal. Crystal and a round one. Now that's going to be our middle of our top strand. So now we're just going to go, and I'm going to do hishi, large hishi. So like hishi, large hishi. And I think I'm going to do 3 probably. Oh, I didn't put any spacers here by this little guy. This one is going to need a little one and then a big one. Little and big. Now we'll go back to this stuff. So it's going to sit like so. And then I'm going to put on a big one, then a little one, and put another round one in here. And I'm debating right now if I want to put more than one little round one, maybe a couple of little round ones. This one's got something in it. But if I do that, it's just going to be one small, and then we'll see how this looks if I do this. Another small. Then it's going to be small, large, and the 3 hishis. Now I'm going to do a few more turns like this, and then I'm going to go to the other side, and then we'll compare it in with the other to see how it ends up fitting in. Now, I'm not doing these in any particular pattern, and I just don't want them to sit side by side with the same color. Oops, wrong way. Should have been large, small. So I'm going to put this on this side right now. Oop, come on, go in there. This is one of my new ones. It's a little tight yet. Of course, we want it to be tight to a degree, just not super tight. Now, when I got over here, I still just had one, so we'll go to the Now we'll hook this on here, and we'll see what its length looks like to what will be the bottom strand. And we may be there right now, because we're going to hook that on, and then we'll hook this on, and we actually may even be too long. It might be fine. Let's compare the lengths. I want them to be about 1 inch different, and this one is flipped over again. It says it wants to, there we go. What did I do with my ruler? There it is. So we'll compare this. Like we said, this is about 10, but that's 10 with flowers. We want to compare it without the flowers. Without the flowers, it's about 8 3/4. This is about 7 3/4. So it's about where I want it. So now we're going to take our flowers here. Are you flipped again? Yes, you are. Got to make sure it's sitting the proper direction. And we're going to, come on, let go. Take a crimp tube, and we're going to crimp this on the flower again. Fairly positive there should be enough room to go through this a couple of times. But maybe not 3. We may have to figure out another way to hook the chain onto the back. We'll see. So then we're going to go through our, where'd our crimp tube go? There it is. And through our spacers. And we're going to crimp this right here. We want to give it a little space to move, but not a lot. So get our crimping pliers out, and we're going to crimp this first one right up here. Come on, you. Okay, now we'll slip a few more of these beads over the top of here. Okay, now we're going to roll this sideways over here, and we're going to do the same thing on this side. Yeah, that should be plenty long enough. Now we need to be very careful to make sure that we go through this the proper way. There we go. Make sure this is down. Now we'll come here and we will go through our crimp, through our spacers, through our he, she. Come on, little guy, let it go through. There it is. Now it doesn't really appear to want to go through this he, she, so we are not going to force it. Let it go down here, back down here. Now we'll pull our cable up. Make sure we're about where we want to be. You need to go over here. You're too loose, so we'll tighten it up some. Now we want to make sure this is not too loose or anything. So that's going to sit like so. So we'll get this side crimped up. But it is too loose, so I have to pull it up some. Because see how there's a big gap here in the he, she? And we definitely don't want that big of a gap. Okay, I think that'll be good. So we'll get in here and crimp this. Turn it. So now that that's crimped, we'll cut this excess off right here. So now we want to bring this one down to here. There we go. So there's our bead strands. Now I got to get all this stuff put away. And then we will talk about how to put it together. Okay, now that we've got this pieces to put together, we've got to decide if we can get another strand of wire through here so that we can make a loop to hook some chain onto. And I'm not sure it will, so if we can't, we're going to have to figure out some other way to attach it. So let's just pull a little wire out here and see if we can get it to go through here. There we go. So we can get it through. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this piece in here and just pull some more out. And I'm going to cut it off. And I'm going to do the same with the other side. We have to work it to get it to go through. It's a little stiff, but that's all right. We can get it to work. And cut it off. So now we'll put the wire away. But like I said, I'm going to make a loop here with a crimp tube so that I can hook some chain onto here, because there's no way I could get a chain through here. I probably could get a tiny wire, but since we already have the beading wire, we might as well stay with the beading wire. The other thing I like to do when I'm doing stuff like this is put a bead on here to add a little something to it, if it will allow me to do that. Right now, let's see if we can get a crimp to go through here. And I'm not sure it will let me put a bead in here in the middle of it, unless I were to double crimp it, which I have been known to do before, but probably should have given myself a wee bit more wire here. Because we have to turn that into the tube. Come on, you go in there. And once we get it in there, we have to tighten it. There we go. And make ourselves a loop here. So just pull this both ways. We don't need much space, just enough to get a jump ring on there. So we'll just pull this. And the other reason we need a little space is to get our crimping pliers in there. They do have to go up and in here. So once they're in, I will pull it so it's tight and crimp. So we do have our first crimp done. Now we have to get it to turn just a hair's breadth so we can do our second. Okay, that looks pretty good. Now we're going to trim those two wires off right at the crimp tube. So push your cutters way up to it and trim them off, both sides. So there we go. Now if you want, you can roll this so this little crimp tube is right here. And that could use a little more rounding, so I'm going to see if I can do that. So like I say, you can now push this straight to the center if you want, so that it looks like part of our flower. So let's do the other side. Exactly the same way. Put in a crimp tube. Put your wire through the other side, through that crimp tube. Then we're going to tighten it up. Get our crimping pliers in there. Tighten it up till it's tight on that. Oop. Come here, you. Just sit right there. Now tight. And crimp. And then we're going to turn it. Crimp it again. Let's see if we got it about the same length as the other. It doesn't look too bad. Now we need to turn it some and do some more crimping on it. Come on, baby. Stop sliding sideways. Okay, we'll cut these babies off. Roll this baby to the front. Come on, roll over to the front. So your bead is right in the middle of your flower. So now you have two loops on the sides that you can hook your chain onto. And I could have done it right off the bat and just hooked the chain in as I put these on, but I didn't really want to do that. Mainly because the chain would have been in my way as I tried to hook it up. So now we need to decide on our chain, and if I wanted to, I could use some chain reaction. I do have some pretty chain reaction in colors. Oh, well, actually most of my colors, well, nope, there's one there. It's a pretty blue one. Let's see how that would work. These are not the ones. They're scraps. I always keep my scraps because they make a gorgeous earrings. Now I have a pink one, but the one I'm going for, I think, is this blue one because it sort of matches some of our blue hishis, and it puts another color up into here. Though the pink one would, of course, match these flowers better. And we have plenty of pink. So maybe we'll stick with the pink. I was originally going for the blue, but I think I'm going to stick with the pink. Hi, Wowie. Rory's over on the cat tree that I can see from where I'm sitting. When we got a new one, we moved the old one over here closer to where I'm at, and he's up on the shelf. So let's see here. Not the same pink. I was thinking, well, I wonder if that's the same pink. If it is, we could make some earrings, but we could still make some earrings. We'll have to see what we can do here. So we want this, the chain reaction is always 18 inches, and I just dropped some of it, the scrap, and that's fine. This one is chain reaction number 4. Like I said, these are 18 inches. I think we only want our necklace to be about 20 inches. So that's fine because there's always, over here where it always loops onto here, and we have this bead tends to be an extra one. See how it goes down after I pull that bead out? Looks like it could cut right there in the middle. And I'm gonna decide find how long this is, and then we're going to get 18 inches to make it be 18 inches, and because we're going to have our hardware and stuff in here, so it's going to add something to it. So this one is about 9 inches, so we want about another 9 to 10 inches of chain reaction. So we will I usually start with some chain at the bottom, but I'm wondering if I want to start with a crystal at the bottom this time. I'm thinking I will. So we'll just take this off of here, and I said we needed 10 inches about, right? So let's find out where that puts us at with our chain reaction. If I use this crystal here, will it be at another crystal? Not quite, but we can make it be at another crystal right here. And if we're a little, and we'll have to take this one out of the middle anyway, because that's where our lobster claw and things will go. So we'll cut this off. This now becomes my extra. We'll put it up here. And if I decide to use it for some earrings, we can certainly do that later. So now what we want to do is we need to cut this in half, and this middle bead right here is our halfway point, so we'll cut it off. Just drop it in this dish. So now we need to get some hardware to put this thing together. So I'm going to get a couple of tinky tots to hook to put our chain onto. So we will just go through this loop and grab one of these and put it on right at the crystal. Then we'll do the same on the other side. Now, personally, I would have liked to have hooked the chain directly to the flower, but unfortunately, because of the fact that this is so far away, we couldn't do that. So there it is, hooked with the hooked onto our chain. Now we need to get over here. Now we need to get our lobster claw and our other jump rings out. Let's check this lobster claw, make sure it's working fine. It is. Now I always check my lobster claws because they have a spring in them, and that spring can break. If the spring breaks, you're sort of screwed. So now these holes are really small, and I'm not sure our bigger jump ring will go through it. So I'll knock another one of these out just in the off chance it doesn't. But actually, I won't use one of these. If it doesn't, I'll use a tinky tot. But hook the lobster claw on the first side. Whoop. I hate that when it snaps, don't you? So there's the first one with our lobster claw, and it's being difficult. There we go. It's working fine now. Now the thing is, will this big one that I would normally use for this side go through, or do I need to hook it on with a tinky tot because of the size of our jump ring. So let's try this through the hole, see if it'll go. It did. Excellent. Need to put the last of the things we've used away, the green beads and the other jump ring we didn't need, and we're done. There we go. All finished. Everything wants to flop every which way. Now this looks like it's almost the same length when you put it down like this, but when you pull it apart, you see how it pulls open some? And that's why I only put an inch in between. So there's our double strand necklace made with the SoftFlex company's exotic blooms. All done. So there we go. There is our exotic blooms necklace, all finished. I think I'll put it on and show you where it hangs at. I didn't want it to be very long because it's, well, it's a rather dramatic, colorful necklace. Now see how it sits? Now if you had a lower neckline, this would work really good. Here, and here is where our chain reaction starts at. And it could have done with a few less beads so that this strand would have been up a little higher, but I don't mind it where it's at. So, and that's an inch difference. And so if you wanted it to be higher up, you would have wanted to make like 2-inch difference or something. But there we go. There's our exotic blooms necklace using our SoftFlex Design Challenge kit. And I hope you enjoyed making this with me. Isn't it pretty? You turn the proper way, you. Oh, you were. You weren't. You were. Okay. So there we go. Isn't that pretty? So this has been Rose from Ms. Rose's Garden, and we'll talk to y'all later. Now, though, I will tell you that if you wanted something a little bit more, you could make some kind of a dangle to hang up with the pendant here. I didn't, but that's just a personal preference. So, and like I say, if you didn't want the second strand to be as long as it is, see when I pull it how much it comes apart, but when you wear it, it comes back down. You could make it a little bit shorter. There we go. And here is where it connects up here with the chain on our flower connector. So, all done. This has been Rose from In Rose's Garden, and we'll talk at you later. Bye-bye.